lovelies, welcome back on my channel, or welcome to the journey if this is your first time joining. My name is Willow, and what was that? I react to songs I don't know. Now, today I'll be reacting to a Patreon request from Jürgen. I feel like I said it worse than last time. Thank you so much, ever so much, for all of your support and for your great requests so far. So let's see what this one has in store for us. Now, he wrote, this track is from a video game and this piece alone is said to be a reason for the game being a contender for soundtrack of the year at Game Awards. I have high expectations of this, although they are a bit lowered because the song is in French. No, I'm not, I'm joking. What happened? Didn't my screen brighten up all of a sudden? Because I changed the settings. I don't know if it showed on the video, but it really went like, bang. Strange. Anyway, I don't have anything else to say, I think. If you have a request for me, a suggestion, you can write it down in the comments below, or I have a link in my description, well, several links. One of them is for my Ko-fi page, and one of them is for my Patreon as well, where you can leave requests on both of these. But anyway, for now, let's listen to that song. Now, I don't even know what game that is. The song is Une Vie À T'aimer by Renoir. Or is that the game? Renoir Act 2 Battle Theme Expedition 33. Battle Theme? Act 2? I don't know. Is it... Let's just listen. Did I just miss who it was made by? Yes, I did. Interesting. Oh, it's their names. Okay. Oh, wait. Interesting. Like, the harmonies together are like... Oh. Ooh. I thought it was ending. It's almost like happy. Kind of like a waltz. An electric guitar there? the time signature. It's like shouting in the background. Interesting. Is it over now? This was 11 minutes? I like never check how long it is usually. Otherwise I'll have like some sort of expectations usually. In this case I was just like, okay, this is going, I just had no idea. And at some point I was like, this is going to be a long one. I was not expecting 11 minutes. This is insane. Now, I feel like this is one of the ones where I should have like paused almost to like talk about each bit. But I have like my main thoughts, I think. At the end, I thought it was quite interesting where like the strings were like coming in. I want to say it's a cello, but it could have been a very, very low violin. But they were like, adieu. And then, I'll say cello, whatever. My love cello. Why did I just hit myself 3 times for no reason? It like came in like just like half a second afterwards. It was like, like, I don't know. I thought it was interesting just that like it was kind of like delayed a little bit. Anyway, where do I even start? I'm not going to lie. You know, I feel like I'd have to listen to it again to like grasp everything. There was so much going on. And I'm sure within the context of the game, it makes more sense. Maybe. Like, what is this? Battle theme. This is a battle theme? They fight on that song? To that song? I mean, I could see it with, like, the drums and, like, you know, the bits that were, like, fast-paced and everything. I could see that as a battle. I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting. I was like, am I going to get, like, you know, is this going to be a song that is in one of the cinematic bits? Is this going to be like a little video? Maybe it comes back through the game. I don't even know what the game is. Is it about painting? Do they fight with brushes? I like with the lyrics of the song, I struggle to see how this could be a battle theme, but I don't know, it says battle theme. Please bring me some clarity if you know what game this is. Jürgen, I'm sure you might know more about it, so please bring me some clarity on the game itself. I could have done research, but I do like to go blind, listen to the music and talk about the music, and all the video, if there is a video, talk about the lyrics. But like, especially for the first time, I like not having a bit of context, even though it always leaves me confused and I'm just like, but it's part of the experience, you know? But do tell me in the comments if you know anything about this game. Is it about painting at all? There is clearly a love story in it. Renoir and Aline. I want to guess that Alicia and Verso are like their children. Maybe. But it's just like, at some point, it's like, here are other names. Here are Alicia. Now, I thought, okay, we'll start with should we start with the bad stuff? The things that I liked a bit less, or the things that I liked better? Does it work when you do, like, you know, the bad news first and then the good news? We'll do that. It's a classic, right? Not going to lie, at the beginning, or like even for most of the song, maybe halfway through. I know it does say, let me go back, because I didn't read. I was staring at my camera for some reason. Okay, so there are real singers and a real composer. But for like half of the song, I was like, is this AI? It sounded a bit AI to me. And I'm not sure why. I don't know if it was in the mix of things, because there was a lot happening. And in the layering of the voices sometimes, not even AI, but like, you know, Hatsune Miku, she's a Vocaloid. I guess maybe because it sounded a bit, what's the word? Digital. It sounded a bit digital, and I'm not sure why. Maybe in the way, you know, maybe the instruments that were used were plugins, could have been, you know, and it's not a bad thing. It's just like, that's how it sounded to me, and I was like, is this AI? Because it could be a thing now that music is for games or for films or for whatever, because we all know that Spotify put I don't know how many millions and trillions and billions of money into an AI company that makes music. Make it make sense. But anyway, so this is the future upon us. Eventually I'll be like, I'm reacting to an AI song. I don't want that. I actually really don't want that. Unless it's funny. Like if it's a meme, it's fine. If it's anything serious, I don't want it. I don't want it. AI shouldn't be making art. It's not art-I. That sounded better in my head. Anyway, I'm glad to see that this isn't AI. Maybe it is the way it was. Maybe some of the instruments were programmed. Maybe it's just in the mix. Some producers love to just make it a bit less stripped, if that makes sense. Anyway, for half of the song, I was like, is this AI? Which I don't think is a good thing. And so, yeah, so sometimes in like the layering of things, I was like, I don't know if this is working. For me, anyway. There was like a constant change of time signature. Kind of like, ooh, all right, now I'm taking you somewhere else. All right, now I'm taking you somewhere else. And at least 3 times, I thought the song was ending. And it wasn't, and I was a bit disappointed every time, because I was like, okay, I kind of wanted to take that in, you know? It's like I never really had time to take anything in, really. There's like loads of sections that I really enjoyed separately, but not as a whole, if it makes sense. It's like they were all their own little identity, almost like a musical, almost like if you have a theme that comes back through an album or a musical or something like that, you know. Why the example that comes to mind is awful. But the example that comes to mind is Camp Rock. At the end, okay, now if you've not seen Camp Rock, you won't know what I'm talking about, but there's a song that, in the first one, obviously, we don't want it. Camp Rock. What is it? Is it Dab Dab? Whatever that is. Demi Lovato sings, this is me, this is real, I fucked up the lyrics. And then Joe Jonas sings his own song, you're the voice I hear inside my head. And then at the end, when they realize that they love one another and that she was the voice he heard inside his head, and they sing together on stage, and like both songs, like they're different themes, but both songs work together. But then it's the fact that it comes back, and like in musicals you'll see that often on different albums as well. You'll hear like melodies or like just like a few lyrics, a short part of a song that will come back. In films, like that's, you know, that sort of idea. So like I could see if like there are other songs in the game where it's like these pieces are like from different, like if this was the culmination of the game and all of the themes we've heard before come back as one. Is that what it is? If it is, it's great. For me, I just felt like they were all kind of separate bits that didn't necessarily fit as a whole. And then sometimes it comes back to the same thing, but you're like, I've heard this bit before now, and because you've thrown so many ideas at me, I'm like, I don't know, like, yeah, I don't know how I feel about this song, and I'm so very sorry, but, like, okay, if it wasn't 11 minutes long, cut it down to maybe 9, maybe 8, get rid of a few pieces in there, and, like, tie it all neatly a bit better, and I think I would love this. If it ended with the guitar, like when it comes in, the guitar solo, and then the strings come in, and it's like this like big moment, and then maybe tie it in with the end where they go like, adieu. Forgot the melody already. But that's the thing. I forgot the melody. I don't have anything stuck in my head right now. I don't know what happened. Like, I don't know what just happened. There was not a chorus. There was not, to me anyway, there was not a specific melody that was like, my camera died. And I had time to write down my thoughts and make a bit more sense of it. I don't even know what I was saying. To put it in context, I thought it ended the first time at 2.5 minutes. So everything that came after that, you know, it was a long way to the 11 minutes mark. But when it didn't end, like at first I was like, oh, okay, there's something else and it's gonna like maybe rally me. Like it's gonna take me in and like end in an epic way and I'll get it. Not really. I mean, it had every element to be very, very, very epic. It had, you know, it was like very orchestral. They were using strings. There was a choir at some point. You know, it had every aspect to be epic. A sad love story as well. But for me, I feel like the mix of it all, like the way it was mixed in production, maybe made it like a bit too faded. And it was like a lot of jumps in time signature as well. And like, you know, I'm into that. Usually, like if you're going a certain way and it's like, no, actually let's do a 360 and like do, but it was kind of like too many and like with very, very long pauses after the instrumental bits, which I all really enjoyed. But then it was like, oh, it's slowing down now and ending with an instrumental and then a very long pause, kind of. Everything that led to say this is ending and then it wasn't. But then she'd just start shouting at him again to like throw his brush away. And I was like, am I that invested in that story to be like, oh my god, yes, she's back, and telling him to stop painting? No, I wasn't that invested. Maybe if I'd had played the game, maybe within the context of the game, it makes sense. But just listening to it like this, it kind of doesn't. So unless it's like all different songs brought back together at the end, then it kind of makes sense, you know? So if that's what it is, please let me know down in the comments. If you have any more context to give me that would make it make sense, please do let me know. But otherwise, there's not like one specific element that carries you through the whole thing, that like ties everything together. You know, in songs like this, you would have at least the singer maybe, but like they weren't prominent in the mix enough, like most of the time, to be like, all right, now the story continues, like they're telling me the story. I felt a bit lost in all of that, really. But yeah, I really enjoyed all the instrumental bits, the piano, the strings. They were all very, very beautifully written and played, regardless of if they're digital or not. But like re-listening to it, because while I was fixing my camera thing, I went and listened to it again. I do actually think, when I was saying it sounded a bit digital, I do actually think now that it might have been the voices themselves. So I don't know if they're a bit auto-tuned or it's just the way that they come out in the mix together that just makes it sound slightly off. I don't know. Something I thought was interesting, but also at some occasions, most occasions, a bit contrasting and like dissonant almost, was that the feminine voice most of the time sounded very, very operatic, like oh, very beautiful. And then in contrast, like at the beginning, right after she sings a bit very, very operatically, the man's voice is almost like a screamo, and like I feel like it could be really, really cool together. And it is at some point, like more at the end, when there's like the yeah, like I guess maybe she's meant to represent something a bit more pure, a bit more like angelic, and he's meant to represent something a bit more chaotic. I don't know, I didn't feel like it worked together. Yeah, that's my main point. It's just like it felt like very cool pieces all individually, very cool ideas. They didn't like the glue kept on ungluing itself. Everything I put up my wall that keeps on falling like this, like the tape was not very good. So they'll be there for a time and you're like, oh, it looks pretty, and then it'll just go fuck. That's literally under my bed now. Picture this, but in the context of the song, like very beautiful pictures, ideas, that don't like actually stick too well together for a very long time, except like I said at the end when like he goes a bit more like scream or like yeah, but then she's not doing that like sort of thing at the same time. She's also singing, but in a more regular pop jazz way. And then again, after that bit, I thought it was ending again, but it wasn't. What I would do if I were, I mean, I could try and tweak the song, but I feel like there's the whole bit from 6 minutes 42 to 8 minutes 28 that I really like. It's like this epic sort of culmination of things. There's the bit with the electric guitar, their voices kind of work well together, and then from that point on, from 8:28, they start singing again, and I'm like, you're repeating the same stuff, I don't want to hear it again. So I would cut that all the way to 10:22 when with that last adieu, or maybe a few adieus before that, but like, so cut from 8:28 to 10:22, and then they go with that adieu, like kind of epic sort of thing, and then it comes back to like soft voices and repeating adieu with like the cool cello being delayed, that sort of thing. That's how I'd end the song. There's a whole 2 minutes that you can cut there, and probably some stuff at the beginning. I'm so sorry, I'm like bashing this song. It really didn't tie in together well enough for me to like it, but like I said, there are like very, very good bits like that I liked individually, but like not enough that I'd be like, I'm gonna listen to 11 minutes just to hear that one part, you know what I mean? The thing that kind of annoyed me is like it's build up after build up, and then comes back very like so back down, you think it's ending, and then it rises again to like kind of that same level of build up, but you're like, you already had it, so it's not satisfying in a way. You're not like, oh, it's building up, and then you don't get it, and then you're still waiting for it. You had the build up. We have it at least 5 times. Yeah, and then it's back to a similar build up where she's once again telling him to stop painting, or maybe he's telling her to stop painting. I honestly don't even know who's telling who what. So yeah, I'm so sorry. I think this is the first, maybe the second time where there's a song I really don't enjoy all that much. But again, like I said, there are positive elements. I'm just saying what I thought. You know, the voices didn't reach me. But I guess after all, the title is Une Vie À T'aimer, a life loving you, and it did feel like an entire life listening to that song. It feels like I went through birth all the way to my deathbed waiting for a miracle to happen. But I want to say my favorite bit is probably like that bit I talked about from 6:42 to 8:28. That bit is very, very good. Like, I feel like if the song started just a bit before that, like, you know, setting in the scene, built up all the way to that, and then, like I said, skip a whole 2 minutes and then end, I would have loved it. I would have loved it. It was just too many ideas. But again, like I said, if it is meant to be that way, if there is a context within the story, with no context on a first listen and even second listen, these are my thoughts. I really wanted to like this. I'm sorry, but I am very happy if you do like it. Anyway, let me know what you thought of the song, if that's the first time you heard it. Bash me in the comments if this is your favorite song. Explain to me why it is. You can still give this video a like, because I gave my everything. I still gave my everything for this song, alright? And do subscribe to the channel if you would like to see more content. I am usually kind, but I want to be honest, obviously. So anyway, thank you so much for watching all the way to here. If you're hearing this, that means you watched the entire thing. Thank you so much for watching the whole thing. And if you also have a suggestion for me, if you want, you know, something similar that I might like, or another song from the same game that I might like better, who knows, you can write it down in the comments below. Or like I said, I have a link to my Ko-fi page in the description below as well as a link to my Patreon. So if you would like to support the channel a bit more, get early access to these videos, a chance to give a Patreon request as well, like Jürgen did, and also access to exclusive content that's on Patreon, also linked below. And I also have another channel on which I like to talk about witchcraft and ghosts, spooky things. So if you're into that sort of stuff, might as well check it out, why not? And I also have a podcast. But anyway, everything's in the description below, and once again, I am terribly sorry. I am a sucker for a sad love story. I guess I just didn't get it. So please help me get it. And I will see you all very soon in another reaction. Bye! Adieu!